What up, y'all? Back with another review, and I'm here for my first review of 2020. Mac Miller with Circles. This is Mac's first posthumous album since his passing in, what was it, September or October of 2018. Um, just that was just sad. Like the way Mac went, and to have this album, like to listen to after that, and just the things that he's saying, it's like I don't want to get too deep into what I really have to say until that, I'm actually in the review and towards the end when I kind of give like a brief summarization of it, like as a whole. But this album is just surreal. I'll say that. So before I even get into this though, there is one thing I want to do because I make sure I give credit where credit's due with the producers of this album. All right. Yeah, Mac Miller, Circles. I'm not sure if Mac produced any tracks on this project at all, actually. I was just listening and listening and listening, and I'm like, this album has been out for 3 weeks now, and I'm just now getting to it because I really wanted to take my time with this. I didn't want to rush through this. I didn't want to, not fully process it and do Mac that way with his first posthumous album and passing, of course. So, let's see. What the heck is tape? There we go. So yeah, Mac Miller, Circles. This was a 12-track album, I want to say, if I remember correctly. Yes, 12 tracks long. And let's go ahead and get right into this review. Pull this up real quick because I can't remember the last time I used my notebook for notes on a review. I just use my phone these days, which I could have been doing in the first place. But anyway, the first track, Circles, produced by Mac Miller and John Bryan. I hope that's Brian. If it's Brian or something, I'm going to be very embarrassed. This is just Mac talking about what it looks like before falling and going in circles and kind of having like no direction. And there's a faint acoustic that complements this song, which I fuck with because if you know me, you know if you got the acoustic, I'm gonna at least like that about the about your track, at least. The next track is what is that? Oh, okay. The next track is Complicated, which has a very upbeat beat with a melancholic delivery. He talks about how outside it's cloudy, but he likes that better, which I feel that. That's my kind of weather, and it's like that right now, actually, which makes recording this, kind of even more sad and a little more surreal. But yeah, I just felt that. And he just talks about just wanting to get through the day and just have no complications and just asking, why does it have to be so complicated? The next track, Blue World, the intro, sample melody reminds me of scenes of Flapjack, if anybody remembers. That was a cartoon back, I don't want to say back in the day, but on Cartoon Network. Mac talked about the devil being outside his doorstep, but he's not, well, he doesn't have to let him in, even if he calls for him. The next track is Good News. I don't know if it's the only single, but it's the first single, I believe, to promote this project. Well, actually, yeah, first song since he passed, and just the love for it that I saw before the album release, of course, was just assuring. He talked about, I spent the whole day in my head, do a little spring cleaning. Why can't it just be easy? Why does everybody need me to stay? And he just talks about dealing. He hates dealing the cards that are in his hands, and he wants to get out of his own way. But all people want to hear is good news. But when he's down, they change. And he talks about just running out of gas, being tired of being tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, pretty much. Asking why does he have to build something beautiful just to set fire to it. And it just feels like he's out of the loop. And he feels like there are more things waiting for him on the other side, and how maybe things ain't so bad as they seem, or how he's making it out to be, or made it out to be. And yeah, he said a lot, which this was one of the longer tracks on this album. The next track, I Can See. It's a very dreamy, hypnotic, kind of funky beat with a slow groove. He talks about needing someone to save him from himself and how he feels like he's in an oasis and needs balance, and how heaven is too far away when you live in a basement. Which I feel like that's him like talking about always being in the studio in a sense, and talking about life being a fantasy until you wake up and shock, but you keep going because you look how far you've come and remember how far you still have to go. And he expresses falling from the top, but not expecting to. So he's holding on, but at the end of the day, that's just what it is because he said God waits for no one. And when he said that, like expressing how he was falling from the top and like not expecting to, but he had to hold on. But even it's just what it is. God waits for no one. It's like that. It made me think of Kobe, and Mac too, of course. But it, it's just messed up, man. And but he also talked about how in knowing that like that God waits for no one, that you stay up, you stay on your toes. The next track, Everybody. The piano lead off was nice. He talked about people living and dying, everybody wanting good times, and how things can get good and rough. But he talked about having this girl in his arms is more than enough for him. And he talked about there was this man he saw in the corner that couldn't tie his own shoes, but he sure could pay the blues, which I guess kind of like put things into perspective for Mac in a sense. The next track, Hand Me Downs, actually. Wait, no, my bad. The next track is Woods, but I'm gonna talk about like the third quarter of this album by itself because it's my favorite part of the album. Just the third quarter is just amazing. Like I thought it would set the tone for the whole second half of the project, which it did in a way, but more so just the entire third quarter is a place in the album. It's home to these melancholic, semi-lo-fi, shoegazy, dream pop like beats. And if you add Mac's delivery in there, it's freaking great. The tracks being Woods, Hand Me Downs, and That's on Me. That's on Me being the most melancholic of them all, and it's about him taking responsibility, hence the title. But yeah, the next track, Hands. No, where is it? Okay, yeah, Hands. It's kind of wonky. He talks about, man, when he said, I'm busy tripping about some shit that still ain't even happened yet, I really felt that. Like, really felt that. He talked about taking time for yourself and just being free and flying around like there's no ground for you to fall on. Like you'll just never fall. Like it won't hurt if you descend some. And when he said if you throw him off his high horse, he might just fall to his death, I think about if he was off the high horse on his last days or his last day living. Like I know, like what was it? It said that he was given drugs that were not spiked drugs, but something was wrong with him, like laced or something. It's weird. Like the guy who sold them to him was arrested. I know that, but I just wonder if he was off his high horse when that happened. Like if he was going through something, and um, but yeah. And I wonder if he's talking about himself or others, or the devil when he says that you're obviously not on your best behavior. I'll pull your card if it's on the top deck. Give me what I want, then I'm off to the next. That's what we call cause and effect. I'm like wondering if that's about the devil, his relationship with people and his fans, or his fans, their relationship being like that. Like, give me what I want, then I'm off to the next. Like, is that what the devil's like with him? Is that what he's like with the devil? Or is that what he's like with his fans, or does he? Which I don't think that's the case, but or does he feel like some of his fans like that? Like, give me what I want, then I'm off to the next. It's like I wonder what he's trying to say. I hope that it's not the case with the latter, and I don't think it is. But it just made me think. Like, I wonder what he's trying to say there. I think y'all just heard that. Sorry about that. The next track, Surf. He talked about how here they might tell you that I went crazy. And he talked about water being in the flowers, so let's grow. And he talked about feeling most alone when he's standing in crowds. And I was like, damn, that's when you feel most alone. Like when you're standing around, I guess, by complete strangers, pretty much for the most part. I wonder if that extends to not. I guess he wouldn't be standing alone in crowds if he's performing, but there's a crowd in front of him. Does he feel alone there? Did he feel alone there too? Um, Damn. And last but not least, once a day, it it feels like goodbye, but it also feels like it's a message, um, and it feels like he kind of has questions about his fans and loved ones, like, which is like one and the same in a sense, knowing Mac's fans and how he felt about them. He talked about once a day I rise, once a day I'll fall, once a day I try, once a day I get high. And he just talked about wondering not who this is about, I don't know, but he's saying like wonder what they know, if they cared, if they see their reflection in the rain and look away. I feel like that's maybe about the fans. Like, do they not realize that they're more than they think they are? Did they even care about me at all? The answer is yes, Mac. And as far as wondering what they know, yeah, huh. Yeah, and just talks about like why rush and not take your time. Like just slow down and chill, relax, take it easy. And he said like don't ask what I think because it don't matter. And he also talked about like don't keep things in your head where no one can see it. Yeah, where no one can see it. And he talked about how you might be running low on regret, no tears keeping you wet. I think you're getting it now. It's like it just feels like a message. Like for him to say, like, I think you're getting it now. It now that he's gone, it makes it even more so surreal. It's like just kind of wishing that whatever it is that we're getting now, that could have been the case while he was still here with us. So yeah, this album, I'm glad this is out. I think it's just perfect for Mac. It's a great posthumous release. I just and the production was nice. Swimming. I like this more than Swimming. I'm not gonna lie. Even though 2009 is my favorite track off of Swimming, and I like that more than any track off of that album, or of course, or this one. But 2009 is just one of my favorite Mac tracks anyway. But the production here, it's like I don't want to say this is a step up for Mac, like especially like he's gone now. But it's like I just like it more than I like Swimming. The producers here, so it was mainly Mac and John Bryan and Shay Taylor or Robert Shay Taylor. Okay, all right. But yeah, like again, don't want to say a step up. It's just I like this more, and there is a summarization I do want to say about this album though. It feels like Mac is still alive. It's like this dropped and he's still around to see it. It kind of feels like that. But I'm reminded of his death when listening to this. And at times it almost feels like he knew his time was coming soon. So he recorded some songs purposely for a posthumous release. And his album's about love and fulfillment and mental health, growth, loneliness, the price of fame in a sense, regret, getting through the day, wanting everything and everyone to be okay. And it just feels like we were and are with Mac through it, and vice versa. Like he was with us and still is with us through it. Like, and it's in all honesty though, it's probably an album I'm never gonna figure out, or if I do, it's gonna be down the line. I don't even mean like down the line this year, 2020. I mean down the line within the 20s, within the decade, if that. Like I don't know if I'll ever figure this album out exactly. It's so surreal. It gives me it's like a mixed bag of emotions. Like I'm happy, but I'm sad too. Um, it feels like he's still alive, which in a sense he is, but knowing that he's gone, it's just a mixed bag of emotions here. And I guess not only can I say I don't know if I'll ever really figure it out, but as far as processing goes, it's always gonna. I don't want to say until I'm over it, but it's like until I just don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'll ever figure it out. But there is one thing I have figured out about this album, though, is that I like it. I do really like it. I like it more than Swimming. Um, I like the beats more on Divine Feminine. But as far as the subject matter, like the content of the songs, I like this more. But Good AM still my favorite one. And as I've said before, I'm sure some of y'all know this if you've seen the reviews or just know me off like through the internet or personally. Y'all know that I didn't start listening to Mac until 2015. I tried to get into watching movies with the sound off, but for some reason I just wasn't getting into it. And he has like a even deeper discography than that. His music goes back further than that. But Good AM was like really my first introduction. I always knew who Mac was, but as far as an album being released, around that time I just wasn't too familiar. So I didn't really start listening until Good AM, and I really enjoyed that project. Songs like When in Rome, The Festival, which is The Festival in 2009, are like my two favorite Mac songs ever. It's like, but yeah, this is a nice project. I think it's the perfect posthumous release for Mac, and as just a posthumous release, I think it's great. I'd give it a solid 7.25 out of 10. If you've heard this project, please let me know what you think about it in the comment section below and what you think about my review on it. If you haven't heard this project, I definitely recommend that you check it out. Please be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe. Yeah, like I said, I believe I said comment and all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And let me know what you think about this album in the comment section below. If you have heard it, if you haven't, definitely check it out. But if you're a Mac fan, I know you are on this like that. So thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.